Yeah.
You want to like him, but you can't.
Are you listening?
What?
Are you listening?
Did you bring me on this show to insult me?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all don't want it with us, man. We straight gangsters over here.
Straight
man.
gangsters.
Ah.
Yeah, good morning. You are listening to Scout Team Sports. It is a beautiful Wednesday morning, November 21st, one day away from the Big Turkey Day. I am one of your gracious hosts. They call me Loudbeard.
You are the most egotistical, self-deluded person I have ever met.
Yep, all of that is true. And the man on the other microphone, he is the great patriot himself. He only likes to eat steak on Thanksgiving. We call him
Yeah, it's your boy Chris America coming to you live this pre-Thanksgiving Day, or is it Thanksgiving Eve? Yeah, I believe
it's definitely Thanksgiving Eve. I agree.
I think that should be a thing. I think we need to make it a thing. What would be some traditions you would want to add to Thanksgiving Eve, Loudbeard?
Ooh, that's a really great question. Thought-provoking first thing here in the morning. I'm going to say I would put feathers on and start going around and practicing gobbling. I don't know. Is there something better to do?
Well, you mentioned steak, so maybe you have a nice, solid steak dinner on Thanksgiving Eve. Maybe throw in some riblets.
Ooh,
good old riblets.
That's a good. See, Thanksgiving Eve is for like getting ready to cook. You know, you're preparing the kitchen. You're getting all your sides kind of prepared. All your togetherness in the kitchen for the food and everything that's going to be coming for Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving Eve is more of a prep day. You know, this is like training camp for the actual real dinner. So I would say you would go a light dinner for Thanksgiving Eve because you know you're going to need all the room you possibly could have. So you're going to go something light like a nice side salad or...
I was going to say a Cobb salad.
What?
Ooh, a Cobb
Did you
salad.
just say it? Did you just say a salad?
A
Yeah, we're
salad.
talking
Anywhere
about
near Thanksgiving?
We're talking
No.
about Thanksgiving Eve traditions.
Either way. No, not even a salad on
So
Thanksgiving
what would
Eve,
you,
bruh.
if Thanksgiving Eve became a thing that you celebrated, what would you have to cook on Thanksgiving Eve?
I would say it still have to be Thanksgiving dinner. Like while you're cooking, you gotta, eat off of it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Ooh,
I
like
cook
the
a
side
lot, so-
samplings, you're just testing it. You're the
Exactly.
tester.
It's when I get a little tipsy and cook everything. So yeah, that's what I would do.
For all of our listeners, if you do not know this, we did introductions for Chris America and Loudbeard, but there is
roll
a
it.
third gentleman on the line, and that would be the great golden maestro himself.
Hey, I'm just here so I won't get fined. Hey, I'm just here so I
I'm
won't
only here so I don't get fined, man. It's the man, the myth, the legend, the golden ghost, baby, on a Wednesday
Yeah.
morning. What's going on, guys?
Good morning. Welcome aboard.
Good morning.
Always
What's
glad
up?
to have you.
Oh, dude, I'm here. I'm here, man.
So what's the drunken chef going to be doing the next 24 to 48 hours?
Drinking and cooking.
That's what I
eating.
like to hear.
Yeah.
You got any specialties that you cook up for Thanksgiving? I feel like with you being a drunken chef, you got something real good up your sleeve for Thanksgiving.
So every year I cook the drunken ham. The drunken ham is basically a honey glazed ham, but I use different alcohol every year. So this year, I think I'm going to cook it with Jameson.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jameson, the favorite is rum because it's sweet. I've cooked it with Jack Daniel's honey before, but this year I'm going to go back to Jameson. Jameson was one of my original. So that's
Feeling
what we're
the
doing.
Jameson.
Dude, we're
Ooh.
drinking, we're cooking,
I like
we're having a great time.
I felt like that story would have been better if maybe you had said that you had kept a pig all year round, keeping him drunk.
Got the pig drunk. I mean,
Like maybe you buy him as a little piglet the day after Thanksgiving. That's like your Black Friday tradition. Like instead of going shopping, you go to the farm and you pick up a nice little piglet and you raise them all year on Jameson or
Dude, but
whatever
he'll be-
alcohol you want, and then
but he'd be drunk all year. I mean, he literally would.
I mean,
probably
how
die.
hilarious would it be to have a drunk pig around your house all day?
See, I like the idea
got
of
me thinking.
you keep him all year round. All you do is just keep feeding him. He gets fatter and fatter, and then he's so fat he can barely walk. And then you get him totally trashed the night before Thanksgiving, before you have to, do what you got to do
No,
with him.
I think you.
and then
you need
he
to have the
stumbles
pig.
around. And you
I think
can
you need to have the
taste the
pig ready to
Jameson
handle
in
alcohol. By
the-
the last thing you need is a vomiting pig all over the place.
Yeah, we don't need the
like,
pig vomiting.
hanging on,
he
like-
needs to be ready.
The
Yeah.
you don't want like a virgin drinker on Thanksgiving Eve, especially
Wait,
with the pig.
But what if
Yeah.
the Thanksgiving tradition is as soon as the pig vomits, that's when you chop his head off and move on to the cooking part?
That sounds disgusting.
Something's wrong with you, man. Seriously, something's wrong with you.
Hey, Chris
That's
America's the one that
inhumane.
brought up getting a pig for Black Friday and keeping it all year long. What are you gonna do with it on Thanksgiving?
Eat it.
You're gonna
We're gonna
you don't
eat it.
you go straight from playing with it to eating it. Like there's no in between where you have to, do the
I mean-
dirty work.
Listen,
gonna
I
be
know,
honest
I
with
know
you.
we're not. I know we don't live in an agricultural society anymore here in Orlando. I mean, this used to be a cow town before it was anything else. That's what you just did.
Orange groves, man. Orange groves.
Orange groves and cows, man. But that's what you did. You
Yeah.
went out on, probably on the Monday morning before Thanksgiving, and you slaughtered your animals, and you dressed them up, got them ready for cooking, and then you ate them on Thanksgiving.
You didn't slaughter the pig though on Thanksgiving. You slaughtered the pig like maybe 2 weeks before because you gotta drain it and smoke it, man. So it takes it's
You
a
gotta
process.
cure it.
You're not
We got an expert
yeah
on
you're
our
not
hands.
you're not killing the pig the day before Thanksgiving. I'm gonna be honest with you. If I did have a pig that could handle his alcohol, I'm not killing him. I'm kind of keeping him around. Like he's got to be a cool companion. You know what I'm saying? Like as long as he doesn't poop all over the car, that's my riding buddy, bro. Like just sit in the car, get him drunk, and just
You just put
ride.
some diapers on him, man. You just put some
I
diapers
mean,
on him and let
I
him
guess
hang.
so. You know what I'm saying? But dude, I have a feeling that if I had a pig that could handle his alcohol, we're gonna be best friends.
He's my best friend.
Yeah, it would be cool, man. In fact,
All
where's
right, I
my
know what to
dog
get you
at?
for Christmas now.
And then I think as long as he can get him drunk, handle his alcohol, and go fetch him more alcohol. Like, hey, babe.
He's a keeper.
Hey, babe, can you go mix me a drink, please? Go get me some of that moonshine. And then when he
Yeah.
comes back, you say, "That'll do, pig. That'll do."
That'll
Yeah,
do, pig.
That'll do, pig. Yeah, he's a keeper. Now the second pig that comes in, we just gonna get attached to him. I'll have the drunk pig be mean to him and everything. It'll be awesome. Yeah, we'll kill that guy. We'll definitely eat that pig.
This has gotten weird. This is escalated. This has really gotten out of control.
This sounds like Scout Team After Dark. We really shouldn't. Like, calm down, guys. Come back down from that rabbit hole. We got you.
All right, so do you guys want to talk about sports? Is there anything going on
yeah.
in the world of sports?
Sure.
So CFP rankings come out last night. Again, nothing exciting. Last week, the top 10 was unchanged. This week, the top 8 remain unchanged. The only real difference is West Virginia falls out of the top 10, which we expected after a loss. And UCF moves up and Ohio State moves up. But Ohio State only moves up a little bit. UCF leapfrogs Ohio State. A lot of controversy here because, Ohio State fans, they do not like the fact that UCF leapfrogged them. But after the big Saturday night win by UCF, I think it was well-deserved. Now, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. It's rivalry week. I think we're going to see this completely change because there's a lot of good matchups coming up. But the top 10, it seems like it's been kind of stagnant the last few weeks. Not a whole lot of movement. I'm ready for something to shake up. I'm ready for some chaos.
This
in
is probably the
college
most
football.
boring college football season we've ever had. And I think it's been exacerbated by the fact that nobody plays anybody at all anymore. It's just, and then if they do play somebody like Alabama playing Louisville or Ohio State playing TCU, this was just a bad draw with TCU and Louisville just turning into complete garbage. The clock struck midnight on both of these teams, and they turned into rotten pumpkins. This
Well,
this season has just been, I don't even know what to say about it. Like, with the NFL draft coming up, who are the players that we're going to be excited about? I don't feel like there's enough competitive players.
Wait. You
Well-
said rotten pumpkins. I think you need to be a little bit more for Thanksgiving. I think you should say like rotten pig carcasses.
Stop messing with my pig, bruh.
See,
It's
you're
not
trying to get
right.
back to there, man. We tried to get off of there, and you want to go back.
I'm
He's
sorry.
crazy,
Take it
bruh.
back. I
Calm
take it
down.
back. I take it back. I
Leave,
take it back.
Leave the pigs alone until
Take it
they
back.
fly. You can't mess with them too much, okay? That was a joke. Come on, it's Wednesday morning. Get up with it. No, man, what we need to stop doing is scheduling college football 3 years in advance. You know what I'm saying? Like, just
Oh,
do it
that's a
every
good point.
year. Who gives a crap, man? Do it every year. The fans are going to buy the tickets regardless. I'm not. Who wants to buy a ticket? Oh, 3 years we're going to play Alabama. Let's buy that ticket. 3 years your team is absolute trash, and you're like, man, Alabama's beating the crap out of us. You know what I'm saying? So we need to schedule them 6 months before the season, or hell, I wouldn't be opposed to having even 4 months before the season, just have the schedule come out. People are going to buy the tickets regardless. They know their team on Saturday is going to play one way or another. So
No, that's a great point. I really love what you're saying there because I've seen where teams have already had negotiations for 2022. I mean, we're
Yeah, it's
still
like,
in
why?
2018. We're talking almost 5 years in advance with some of these games. And you never know what a team's going to look like year to year, let alone 3 to 4 to 5 years from now. Yeah, I have a good feeling that Alabama will still be good in 3 to 4 years as long as Nick Saban stays. But if he leaves, you never know. And you're scheduling these games so far in advance. I agree with you, Golden Ghost. You believe that we should schedule them earlier and keep it the same year. I say that's what we should do, man. No more negotiations between these colleges. That year, all the schedules should get put together 6 months before the season starts and just roll with it because you can make those adjustments where you need to make those adjustments. And you can have
Absolutely.
better scheduling, and you can make college football better. They're afraid to change college football because they make so much money as it is, but they could make so much more if they would stop being just jerks about it and get their heads out of their own butts and
Yeah.
start doing things that make sense.
You guys talked about 3
can
years
you
in
imagine?
advance. You guys talking about 3 years in advance, man? That would
Yeah,
be generous.
3, 4.
That would be lucky. It's more like 5 to 10 years in advance. The Oregon, Oklahoma State just came to an agreement yesterday to play each other. That series is going to be home and home in 2025 and 2026. Alabama and Notre
That's
Dame
crazy.
earlier this season agreed to play, and I think 2028 and 2029. Nick Saban might not even be there, and even if
Exactly.
he is there, he's going to be an 80-year-old man by the time that game rolls around. So, like,
He still
like
looks
I
good
don't
for his
understand
age.
if baseball can schedule a
Always looking at
162
guys.
game season for 30 teams each year before the season starts. Like, they don't schedule them years in advance. They make the schedule like I don't know, maybe November, December, and then the season rolls out in April. If you can do that for baseball, they probably play like 20,000 games or something throughout the season.
Something stupid. Yeah.
So now, yes, they probably have just a generic template that they use year to year to year, and it probably follows the same formula, but you could do the same for college football.
Yeah, just take out pieces and plug them back in. I mean, we have the technology. We can make it work, my friend. I guarantee you. There's a schedule out there right now that's probably doing it for them. You know what I'm saying? Stop scheduling games 5, 6, 7 years in advance. Go back to scheduling right like 6 months before the season. That way the matchups are going to be better. The teams that are coming to town are going to be better. People are going to buy the tickets because now they're excited to see Oklahoma versus Alabama and UCF versus Alabama. You know, people will go pay to watch those games a little bit more than watching Alabama beating up on Backwater,
Citadel.
Louisville,
Mud
Citadel,
City State.
Mercer.
Yeah. Yeah.
All these awful teams.
Louisiana, Raging Cajuns.
Like Mercer, like that's a high school team, right? Like I'm just saying, bro. Like, come on, like they can do it better. We can do better. We can make. Well, they can make more, and we're not making no money off of it, right? So
Yeah. I
yeah.
heard
Well,
a
if they
good
take
take.
my idea, we're making money off of it. This is my idea. I'm stating on Scout Team Radio. Pay me NCAA because Scout Team doesn't pay me.
I heard this good take about how basically the NCAA needs a commissioner. As much as we hate commissioners, the NCAA needs a centralized voice that leads the whole entire league or division or whatever you want to call it. the whole entire sport. And I think each individual sport needs their own commissioner in NCAA, because I don't need one guy running basketball and baseball and hockey and then football. No, I want one guy that's just centralized on football, centralized on basketball, taking care of business. And the person I was listening to compared it to boxing and UFC, how boxing has just over the last few decades fallen apart because it's just like college football. You don't have a centralized voice. You have each team taking care of their own business and having control of who they fight, who they don't fight, when they fight, how many fights they fight a year, and everything else. And nobody really watches boxing. But in UFC, it's completely different. They have Dana White, and as much as I hate him, he is the main voice. Everybody signs under UFC, and there's a little bit of like they have to agree to fight, but like they sign a contract for however many fights, and then Dana White says, okay, these are the guys that you have to fight. Like, you're not going to go and fight Joe Schmo off the street every single pay-per-view event. I know maybe you don't want to fight Conor McGregor, so here's 2 other guys that are just as elite or maybe a step below, and you need to fight one of those 2 within the next 6 months. And I think that's what NCAA needs. They need to get away from this boxing model where Alabama's their own promoter and Florida's their own promoter and UCF's their own promoter, and they're basically just like boxers. They don't fight unless they want to fight. They won't fight a team unless they have to fight a team. I mean, how awful was it that Floyd Money Mayweather and Pacquiao didn't fight for 6 years down the road from the time that we wanted them to fight?
And they were both kind of over the hill at that point. I mean, Pacquiao was definitely over the hill. Mayweather still had some fight left in him. It was not an enjoyable fight because of that. You wanted to see those guys in their prime. I'm 100% with you, Chris America. You are speaking the truth.
Truth. Yeah, Pacquiao took some losses before that fight too, remember? So the luster had already rubbed off.
And that's probably why Mayweather finally agreed to that fight. He probably saw, Pacquiao's lost a bunch of steps. Let me give him a call now. Let me stop dancing around this fight.
Let's go.
And that's honestly what Alabama is they're Floyd Money Mayweather. They're not taking on challengers unless they have to. They're hand selecting their guys. And I bet you once like Mackenzie Milton goes and UCF is having sort of a down year, which every team has from time to time, then that's when Alabama's going to pick up the phone and be like, okay, we're ready to play you guys now.
Ooh, wow, bro. Did you just basically call them afraid?
Yeah. I mean, what do you call a team that schedules 3 Sun Belt Conference teams and an FCS team? Like, what do you call that team? I don't call when I think of a team that's not afraid, I think of the Miami of the 80s. Now, granted, they were independent and they had a little bit more freedom on their schedule, but they had the attitude of we'll play anybody anywhere. Alabama doesn't have that attitude. Alabama doesn't go and play. And when they do play somebody, they play them on a neutral site field in Atlanta, in Dallas. They're not going to go up to Ohio State. They're not going to fly over to USC and play USC in the Coliseum. They don't want none of that business. So, yeah, I'm calling Alabama afraid. And anybody who says that they're not afraid, just look at their scheduling. I don't see their AD calling up and saying, let's go play in the Shoe. Let's go play in the Big House. Let's go play in Happy Valley. He's not doing that. He's not ever going to do that.
So are you saying this is Nick Saban, or are you just saying this is Alabama?
This is just SEC, period.
Ooh.
Nobody does this better than the SEC. I'm a Florida fan. Florida fans have been ragged on. I've been ragged on my whole life for how bad Florida scheduling is. And I can't argue it because it's true. Florida hasn't traveled outside of the Southeast for a non-conference game in the regular season since 1991 when they went up to Syracuse, New York, and lost.
Ooh, bro, that's
like
hot,
when you guys played Notre Dame in that freezing cold weather a couple of weeks ago. I tweeted at Scott Strickland. I said, I'm jealous of FSU, man. This is what I want to see Florida doing. I want to see Florida inside with touchdown Jesus in the background playing Notre Dame.
Okay. I hear you, man. I like it. Get on them, brother. I'm tweeting that right now.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it, man. In fact, it goes back to the scheduling and everything else. If you're scheduled 6 months out, they wouldn't be prone to pick those teams because then they'll have all types of criticism. Like this is the best you got. This is what you want. So I agree, man. Because I know it's a lot of fans in Alabama that actually want UCF. You know what I'm saying? They actually want Ohio State. So
Oh yeah.
yeah,
There's a ton of fans that want it. I mean, look, they don't want Louisiana. We saw they didn't show up for that game.
Yeah, so this isn't nothing new.
I didn't see
but
the
I like
Citadel, but I'm wondering how their attendance was against the Citadel. I know that their ratings were probably way down because Alabama doesn't have high ratings when they're playing these garbage teams. Why? Because sports fans don't want to watch that.
Yeah, I hear you.
It's just all there is to it.
Go get them, man. Go get them. Hey,
Well,
start scheduling harder teams, guys.
Loudbeard.
Okay, cool. Hook 'em.
Yeah, okay, cool. Hook 'em. Hey, before we get off of college football, Loudbeard, did you guys notice that the college game day kind of gave a slap in the face to the UCF with their guest picker?
Yes. I've heard the different stories behind why, and I have some takes on that. But
Ooh,
yeah.
juicy. Give me a
Yep.
story.
All right, you want to hear it? So everybody at college game day looked at each other and said, "What is Maury? What is this all about?" So I had a friend of mine who he knew somebody from the production crew, and they were discussing it. And apparently, Maury Povich was the fourth or fifth choice. He was kind of like the backup to the backup to the backup. And they wanted to bring in Dante Culpepper, but he had a scheduling conflict. They wanted to bring in Shaquem and Shaquille Griffin. I guess there was an issue with them getting back, and maybe the Seattle Seahawks kind of didn't want that to happen. So they got pushed away. And, well, what ends up happening is they say, well, we're just going to have to figure out a celebrity. They took darts and they threw it at a board, and somehow – You Are Not the Father ends up being the celebrity guest picker. So, this was a weird thing. And I felt like it was a slight, when I heard the backstory that they were trying for a UCF celeb and it just never happened, I felt a little bit better about it. But at the same time, I think they could have tried a little bit harder. I think it could have been a little bit better. But there was one celebrity out there that I wish they would have got.
Yeah.
Miss America, you know who I'm talking about?
And they didn't even just have to have a UCF celeb. They could have had an Orlando celeb. They could have gotten the Backstreet Boys. They could have gotten, I don't know, Shaquille
Shaq.
O'Neal, Penny Hardaway. Obviously not Penny because he's got his Memphis thing going. I keep forgetting he's over there. I mean, let's get some Horace Grant down here. Have him put on the goggles. Come on. There could have been several ones, but there was one glaring omission, and he's actually a UCF alum. I'd say he's probably the most famous UCF alum of all time. I don't know if you agree with that, Loudbeard, but
Dante
I'm claiming
Culpepper?
that it's true. No, he's even more famous than that. And,
Non-athlete, I would say he's the most famous UCF alum.
Non-athlete. Okay.
I would say athlete or no athlete, I think everybody knows who this guy is more than anybody else. They might not know he went to UCF, but they know of the name, I think.
Yes.
Okay. I'm in anticipation. What's the name? Do we go silent?
Good evening. To those of you who are sad I didn't show up to college game day at the University of Central Florida this week, I need to remind you that my home just burned down. But let's discuss my alma mater. You're soon to be back-to-back national champions. The College Football Playoff Committee hates Cinderellas, but loves the ugly inbred stepsisters like West Virginia. Ugh. UCF would lose every single game if they played in the SEC. Yet last season we beat Auburn, who smoked Bama and Georgia, despite being handicapped. And I'm not talking about our star safety playing with one hand tied behind his back, figuratively. I'm talking about the interim coach we pawned off on Nebraska. The problem for UCF is that all their votes are being tabulated in crooked Florida. I demand a recount. Why even rank non-Power 5 teams if they have no chance? The Pac-12 hasn't been relevant since that truther Pete Carroll was cheating. And Notre Dame isn't even in a conference. No one under 90 cares about them except for priests with some secrets. It's 2018. Can we write off Michigan until they throw a forward pass? And quit making excuses for Ohio State. Urban's fuzzy memory may not recall getting curb stomped by unranked Purdue, but the rest of us do. Apologies to your Buckeyes, Herb Street. I'd say what I really think, but I'm worried you'd exploit your kid and use him as a human shield. The state of Florida is the most important state in college football, and the best team from that state should get an automatic bid, and I'm including the Finns, Bucks, and Jags. Saban's invaluable eye for talent is a joke. Reminder, he thought Drew Brees was washed up in 2006. And Tide fans, try to wrap your simple minds around this. I get paid more for making fun of Nick Saban than he gets paid to be Nick Saban. Just imagine what UCF could do if our boosters could afford to pay five-star recruits like everyone else. Sorry, we were founded in 1963 and not in the 1800s like Alabama. How about some points for not taking 100 years to get good and allowing black people to attend our campus from day one? I don't know that UCF would beat Bama in the playoffs, but we'd put up more than 2 field goals like Clemson. I don't even know if we have a kicker because we haven't needed one in the last 2 years. If you don't believe me, ask the football-loving foodie who gives me all my locks, my special correspondent, Eat That Pussy 445.
Yo, Daniel, what the is going on with it, my See, the UCF Knights, they'll never get the goddamn respect that they truly deserve, regardless of them beating Auburn, who beat Alabama last year. Kirk Herbstreit, this blonde-haired, fake Eminem-looking motherfucker still ain't giving UCF no goddamn motherfucking respect. UCF isn't going to get on their hands and knees and give these old-ass, wrinkled white motherfuckers of the goddamn board.
Okay. So you're saying there is a path for UCF to make the playoffs. That's good enough for me. That's all for tonight's Tosh Point OT. Special thanks to Colin Kaepernick for filling in on the B camera. Good night.
Oh, I love Daniel Tosh.
Bro.
I've listened to that like 5 times. It never gets old. It's so good. It's so good.
Bro, I get it. Okay, that was funny. It was funny.
It's funny because it's true.
No. It's funny. Come on. He put a lot of inaccuracies in there, though. You know what I'm saying?
What was inaccurate?
Like, what did he say? Alabama. I know you get picking on Alabama or whatever, man, but they're not like a sorry football team. I know they're playing sorry teams, but they're not sorry, dude. Like,
he didn't say that. He said that I
never
get
said
paid
they were
more
sorry.
money. I get paid more money to
Nice.
make fun of Nick Saban than Nick Saban gets paid to be Nick Saban.
yeah, he said some other stuff in there.
suck on that,
I'm gonna
Alabama
have to go
fans.
back and listen to that. It's funny, but come on, man. You UCF fans, and no, I did not know that guy went to UCF.
Yeah, man, he's from
That guy-
Titusville.
That guy was in Orlando, and we didn't know about it.
He grew up in Titusville. He went to UCF, and then he became famous for being
Talking
you know.
trash. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he
vulgar
graduated 96 from UCF.
Wow.
Is he
been a
that
hot
old?
minute.
No, I didn't know he was that old.
I felt like he was around our age.
Maybe it was 2006. There's something with a 6 in it. I'm looking it up. I'm gonna fact check it.
Fact check it, because the fans want to know, when did Daniel Tosh graduate from UCF?
I mean, now they do, right? I mean, did we just blow him out the water? I mean, is that's you who you guys are looking forward to talk trash on your behalf? I mean,
it would have been hilarious to hear him on game day, but as you heard his segment, that's why they didn't invite him to come on to game day.
yeah,
Seeing him and Lee Corso together would have been hilarious.
that would have been hilarious.
He would have probably been trying to get Lee drunk.
Lee's
And
not
Lee
drunk
probably
already?
would have gone around with it, man. Did you see what Lee Corso said too during game day when they were talking about how strength of schedule this and bad conference that, and then Lee just kind of finally just says, you know what, guys, those people behind you don't give an S, but he actually said the S word.
Hey, well, Lee Corso isn't always drunk. I'm just asking.
Yeah, that's true.
I think he's always drunk, bro. So
What do we got there? What do we got there,
I
Loudbeard?
got the facts. He graduated high school, astronaut high school, over here in the Space Coast, 1993. Graduated UCF in 1996.
Dang,
Wow.
so he's like in his 40s.
He's 43. Yep.
Dang.
wow.
He looks good for his age.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
looks-
I always thought he was around our age, like around 35 to 39.
No, white don't crack, man.
I thought it was black.
That's not. It is, but I just thought I'd
Just
throw
made
you
it
a
up.
It was a
bone.
nice twist on the
I thought
good saying there.
I throw you a bone every once in a while, man. Make you feel good about yourselves.
Well, I'd say after the break, find out what other kind of bones Golden Ghost will be throwing at us.
I throw a lot of bones.
know 40 points on your credit score could cost you $40,000 on a mortgage? Thankfully, Lexington Law is here to help. Since 1991, Lexington Law has helped over 500,000 customers take action on their credit reports. Call 877-910-7472 to talk to a repair specialist now. Personalized credit consultation is free. Getting access to your report is free, plus free score evaluation with a recommended solution. Call now and get on the path to recovery. Call Lexington Law at 877-910-7472. That's 877-910-7472.
Oh, it's summertime. And what's that mean? We're all heading off to the golf course. But don't go too fast. Make sure you go to 12ouncesportsradio.com and book a tee time. At the bottom of any page, you'll see Book Like a Pro. Click that banner, enter your course of choice or zip code, find a tee time you like, book that tee time, and you'll get up to 50% off, courtesy of 12-Ounce Sports Radio. Book like a pro, even if you don't play like one.
Ring Central features all-in-one phone, messaging, and video conferencing. It's easy to use with unparalleled security. Ring Central simplifies things so you can grow. Call Ring Central to speak with a representative about a price for your growing business at 877-779-3860. Again, that's 877-779-3860.
Yeah, welcome back to this beautiful Thanksgiving Eve. We are excited to be on the airwaves. Once again, we are the Scout Team bringing you Scout Team Sports. I'm Loudbeard. He's Chris America. He's the Golden Ghost. We're bringing it to you hot like we do each and every weekday, 6 a.m. and again at 11 a.m. on 12-Ounce Sports Radio. If you have not had an opportunity to catch the show live and you're listening back on the podcast right now, you can catch all of the old episodes. We drop them daily after we record the live show, and you can find them at Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, or our website, scoutteamradio.com. And lastly, if you want to get social, make sure you hit us up. We are on Twitter at Scout Team Radio. If you tweet at us, we like to read your tweets on the air. We get interactive. If you want to propose topics or anything going on in the world, we might talk about it. If it's lame, we probably won't talk about it. But if it's hot and it's ready and it's like a Little Caesars pizza, we will put it on the air. And that's what we do. And with that being said, I don't know about you guys, but I am ready. And I'm ready to carry on with this show and go into something that we like to call
the thinker or the stinker.
Let's go.
Yeah, so it's Thanksgiving Eve, and there's a lot of thinker and stinkers going on out there, fellas. You're going to hear a lot of them at Thanksgiving dinner. I don't know if you have those family members when you get together, and there's always that one family member who finds out that you love sports, loves talking about sports. So he starts talking to you about sports, and you realize he has no clue what he's talking about. You guys ever have those experiences?
It's me.
Yeah, that's the Golden Ghost.
That is true. You're a little bit more. You're a little bit more on the know than this guy that I'm talking about. Like, this is a guy who will come to Thanksgiving dinner and will be like, "So Louisville, man, they've been doing pretty solid these last few years. That Lamar Jackson guy," and you're like, "Dude, like, where you been?"
What about that family member that only wants to talk about Florida State football? Ooh.
Oh, those guys are the worst.
Whoa. Hey, you take that back now. Take it back.
See, I wish we had Scout Team After Dark, because there was a Florida State fan that was arrested for a charge that we cannot mention on this show, and it was pretty bad. Pretty bad look for Florida State.
No. That was just a shirt that the cops put on him. I don't care what you say. It's photoshopped.
This
It's not
Florida
fake.
State, this
He's been
Florida State
trained.
shirt was planted on.
Sir, you are fake news. Okay, I don't want.
All right, let's get to these thinker and stinkers. If these guys showed up, maybe they'd give you some thinkers, maybe they'd give you some stinkers. Let's find out. Here's the first one for you guys. Tyreek Hill is even better than AB, even quicker and faster, even more explosive with equally good hands. Is that a thinker?
The thinker or the stinker?
Tyreek Hill's better than who?
AB, Antonio Brown. It's either that or Alex Biff.
He's definitely better than Alex Biff. Maybe. Nah, dude. I'm gonna say stinker. Nah, Antonio Brown's awesome, man. Just got a bad quarterback right now.
I'm going to give that a stinker also. AB's at the top of the wide receiver pyramid, and he is going to stay at the top until somebody knocks him off. Tyreek Hill is climbing up, and he is getting closer and closer, but nobody is as good as AB. AB is still at the top. He's been at the top for the last 3 to 4 years, and you can't tell me otherwise. That, my friend, is a stinker.
All right, 2 stinkers there. Here's another one. This one's on college football. The Heisman Trophy race is fantastic with Kyler Murray out in front headed into the last week of the regular season.
Hashtag who?
The thinker or the stinker?
Go ahead, Golden Ghost. You start this one off.
He's about to be the guy at Thanksgiving that doesn't know who this guy is.
Yeah, I'm gonna go hashtag who. So I'm gonna say stinker.
All right, Kyler Murray is
Screw it.
the quarterback for Oklahoma. You know, the team that has 0 defense, lets up 500 points every game, and then the offense has to come back and win it. And
the
that
guy
would
that
be
took over from
Kyler
Baker.
Murray. He's like this year's Baker Mayfield.
He's not cool as Baker though, is he?
He's kind of cool. Not like frat boy. I'm gonna be flicking people off and throwing flags in the ground. Cool, but he seems like he's a cool character.
I mean, he had to learn from what year is he in? Is it his sophomore year or something?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know him that well. I'd have to look at it. I mean, I know who he is and that he's in the Heisman race. At least you got to give me that credit. I don't know if he's a redshirted, if he's a sophomore, if he's a redshirt sophomore, if he's a. I don't think he's a freshman. He sat behind Baker last year, if I remember correctly.
We know he's a first-round draft pick for Major League Baseball, so I don't think there's any other Heisman candidates that can pin that to their hat.
Ooh, he's very Russell Wilson-esque, isn't he?
He's short.
Russell Wilson. No, I mean he's been drafted by baseball. We don't know how tall he is.
The only thing that you think of Russell Wilson? I mean, Russell Wilson was drafted in baseball. He was a great quarterback. I mean, very similar.
He still
things
is
other
a great
than the
quarterback.
short thing. Yeah,
he's a great quarterback.
Is same thing. I mean, ever since that Pete Carroll call in the Super Bowl, I mean, he's kind of been trash, hasn't he?
You know what? Let's go with
take.
He just beat Aaron
fake
Rodgers
take.
head to head again.
What? Yeah, I know.
I mean, that's not saying much.
Hashtag fire McCarthy.
All right, I'm going to give that one a
Wait, I'm going
thinker.
to change it. I'm going to go thinker too. I'm going to go thinker.
Oh, come on, you
You
I'm
guys
going
have
stinker.
boosted this guy up. I like the guy now. I'm gonna.
Yeah, you should
I
watch
haven't
the film.
I haven't watched a lot of Oklahoma football this year.
So I
Absolutely none.
followed the thread. That was by Joel Klatt, and he actually backed it up with a little bit of more information in that Kyler Murray is the only quarterback ever to have an average of 300 passing yards and an average of 60 rushing yards a game in a full season. So to me, if you have records, he's already in. He's like the Heisman Trophy. Now he's got to go look at Tua.
Kyler is not a black name to you, is it? You were like, Kyler. That guy's
Kyler, that's totally a white guy.
You're shocked. You're like, what? What is his parents thinking naming him Kyler?
Oh God Almighty!
It's a hybrid. It's Tyler and Kyle. They didn't want to pick which one it was, so they decided to do both.
It's Wednesday morning. Hey, I'm gonna miss you guys tonight, man.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss you guys too. We're trying so hard to make this Scout Team After Dark.
It would be so awesome. I'm telling you, it would be awesome. Nah, dude. Hey, look, I'm all for it. Thinker, let's roll.
Yeah, so what I was going to say before the stat of he's black got thrown out there. If you are doing things that nobody else has done, it's hard for me to not overlook that or to overlook that and not give you the Heisman Trophy. So I like it, man. I think if you're doing things that nobody else has done in the sport of college football, it's hard to not give you the Heisman Trophy. But we'll move on to the next one. Memphis and Penny Hardaway just beat Kentucky for James Wiseman, the number 1 player in the country. Memphis basketball is officially back.
Yes.
Now, I do have something on this guy. I like James Wiseman. I like his style of play. I'm not sure that makes them back, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to take a little bit more than just one James Wiseman and Penny Hardaway. So I'm going to say, man, it's hard. Because college basketball,
Just
one
pull the
player
trigger.
can't
You want to
change.
say stinker. You want to say it. Just say it.
Yeah, but college basketball,
well, good
one
thing
player
you're
can't
wrong,
change the
because
tide.
this is
though.
a thinker. You're wrong.
Yeah, it's a stinker. I'm gonna say stinker. I'm gonna stick to my guns. Stinker.
Well, Golden Ghost, you're completely wrong with this take. When you, as a basketball program, beat out Kentucky to get the number 1 rated recruit coming into college basketball, you are back because you know that having the top guy, having the best player is going to help your program out. And when you have a coach like Anthony Hardaway, Penny doing his business over there in Memphis, you are already on the upswing. In Memphis, they are going to have a great year next year, and bringing in this top recruit is just going to be icing on the cake for this program. They are back. It is a thinker, and that is all I have to say.
So Penny was coaching where before the Memphis job?
AAU basketball.
I get it, and I love Penny Hardaway. Hey, look, man, I used to tap my thumb like him when I dribbled the ball back in the '90s. So Penny Hardaway was one of my idols. I want to see him succeed, but lack of coaching experience. I hope that he can mold his talent instead of just saying, "Hey, look, I'm Penny Hardaway, come play with me," and then it just doesn't work out. You know what I'm saying? That's a big talent to have on a team. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully he can mold that and make it better. But I'm just gonna say my logical take on it is he doesn't have the experience to. You know?
You're right though. Like former point guards usually don't do well in coaching, right? Like Steve Kerr, he's been a failure.
Dude,
what other
don't go
former
there, bruh.
point guards
Dude,
that
he was coaching
know how to
AAU.
run a NBA basketball team
Bro,
stink
he was
at
coaching kids. He was
I
coaching
mean, he
kids.
carried that nobody, that no good for nothing, that lackadaisical plotting center named Shaquille O'Neal to the finals. So
that's a good point. And I look at other point guards that have been
flat-footed,
successful.
he was really
can't
short.
be any worse than Tyronn Lue. Come on.
I get it, but Tyronn Lue was coaching in the NBA, and he had coaching experience. Penny Hardaway was coaching an AAU team. All I need to do is pass a background check, and I can go get my own AAU team. Does
Okay,
that
who
make
would
me
you
a
rather
great
have?
That
coach?
doesn't mean you'll be good at it.
Who would you
I
rather
get
have?
that. I get that.
Okay,
All
go
right,
for
I
it. Who
got a
would you
bonus.
rather?
Tyronn Lue,
Yeah.
Isaiah Thomas, or Penny Hardaway is your coach?
Penny.
That's jacked up, man.
That's Penny.
So jacked up.
And honestly, the other two guys, they had some success on the NBA level. They've also had several
Did Isaiah
failures,
have?
but
I don't remember Isaiah Thomas ever having success.
Now, Isaiah didn't win a championship.
I mean, he won a
or
game.
anything.
I'm sure he won a couple of games, but all right. So there's
Yeah,
a
he didn't-
bonus.
he didn't.
There's a bonus thinker or stinker here with this. I followed one of the comments. It says, "Look at LSU and Ben." Or sorry, the tweet is, "Looks at LSU and Ben Simmons." Yeah, Memphis is totally all the way back.
Okay. Now you're trying to help out the Golden Ghosts argument here.
I'm just saying, man.
All right.
Memphis is back. I'm going.
All right, here we go. I think we can all
hope
agree.
so.
I think we can all agree with this one. I felt like This was a good, because it's Thanksgiving week. You need some good, wholesome things to talk about, things that we need to be thankful for. And I thought this tweet was perfect for it. In today's tumultuous world, it's amazing to see our firefighters, military, law enforcement, and first responders come together to rescue our communities devastated by fire. So many great people stepping up to take care of one another. Hashtag Proud American. Hashtag Campfire. And that was tweeted out by everyone's favorite chef, Guy Fieri.
Is he my favorite chef?
I like to watch him because he's just kind of out there and funny. And
I like him. He's not a bad guy.
I think I've only watched like twice.
I don't know that I've ever watched his show, but I've seen him on a lot of commercials, and he seems fun.
I like to eat, so yeah, I watch it.
He reminds me of Smash Mouth, so good time.
He does. He
Who's
total
Smash
lead
Mouth?
singer of Smash Mouth. This was his second career.
He was the lead singer of Smash Mouth. But yes, we are thankful for everybody helping out there, not just the military and firefighters. I'm sure there's tons and tons of stories that we have yet to know about of people helping each other out, people being kind to one another out there in California. And it just lets me be thankful for the home that I have and everything else. So sorry to get all mushy and hallmarky on you guys, but I just felt like it needed to have a nice, good wrap up, especially with Thanksgiving being tomorrow.
Yeah, man. Shout out to those guys who are out there battling those fires, man. That stuff is scary. I'm not afraid of a lot of things, man. But you see the pictures and the videos, and you're like, whoa! Can you imagine that being like close up? I mean, like right in front of your face, like.
I mean, I'm sure it looks like a war zone. There's no other way to explain it.
It looks like hell, man. It looks like hell, man.
Hell on earth.
I wouldn't wish that upon anybody, man. So yeah, shout out to those guys who are risking their lives to save other people. That's
and I mean,
awesome.
this is an incident too that you see that it's not. It doesn't discriminate against anybody. It's taking mansions. It's taking poor folks' homes, middle class homes, businesses, everything. Like it is just full on devastation, and that's why you always, no matter what you have, how much or how little you have, it can all be taken from you. So, and that's what Thanksgiving is being all about, is just remembering, hey, I'm lucky to have all this stuff that I have and to be thankful for it.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Sorry, Loudbeard, you were going to say something?
No, I was just going to say,
he's over there crying.
You're not safe no matter where you're at, it seems like nowadays. You know, like we're here in the state of Florida, and we're always worried about hurricanes coming and just devastating.
I mean,
and then you think you go to different places and there's, blizzards, and then you go somewhere else, there's tornadoes, you have flash floods, you have these bad fires. You say, okay, well, I'm going to move to Asia. Okay, tsunamis. You can't be safe wherever you're at. Yeah. Everybody's got stuff going on, and when you see these tragedies, it's nice to see when people can band together to help support their fellow humans. And when you see that, that's when we're going in the right direction as a society. Is in the worst moments when everybody's down to the bottom of the barrel, when they've lost it all, you see somebody come around and pick them up. And a lot of these firefighters, these guys, there's no words to describe the impact that they're having in the lives of people as they're fighting these. And a lot of them are losing their lives, giving that ultimate sacrifice to try to save others. And I think that, to me, is it's great. And that's what I'm thankful for this Thanksgiving Eve celebration. Salute to those guys.
Thankful for it. But you know what bothers me? And it always has bothered me, like for the last 20 years. Like, we live in a civilized society where technology is prevalent. How can we have flooding and rains, torrential rains on one side of the country, fires on the other, but haven't figured out how to put out the fire with the excess water that we have on the other side of the country?
Because when you have
listen,
thousands and thousands and thousands of acres, and I mean, that's a lot.
Bro,
we can have all the water in the world, but it's all about dispensing that water, getting that water into a container large enough, and then transporting that water, and then being able to just spray that water all at once. I mean, I know what you're saying, but
brother,
God is still more
powerful.
powerful
Golden Ghost
than
is really trying to say is that he needs to create terraforming, where he can create fake rain that comes and rains where we need it to put these fires out. Because if we can rain on one side of the country, we can create it on the other. We should, as humans,
that's not what
manipulate
I'm
the
saying,
weather
Jackrabbit.
and create rain when we need rain. Why have we not figured this out? Scout
that's
Team
not
Bureau
what
of
I'm saying.
Investigation is on it.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we can build oil pipelines to go God knows wherever and forever how long, but yet we got fires over in California. We got water in the middle of the United States, flash floods or whatever. Get the water over there. It's not that hard. I have a feeling
I don't
that
think
it can't be that hard.
I don't think there's a lack of
harder than
getting
you think.
water over there. I think they have plenty of water. I mean, they have the Pacific Ocean right next to them. So, I mean, there's no lack of
That's
water.
true,
It's
too.
just getting the water into a container and then dispersing that water over a large fire that I'm saying
It's a big
thousands.
fire.
It could
It's
be
a
millions
huge
of
fire.
acres. I really
Yeah,
don't
it's a big
know.
I'm
fire.
texting Elon Musk right now, letting him know he needs to get
Elon
on this.
Musk, get on this, brother.
Bill
we
Gates,
can
Elon
make this
Musk.
happen. Hey, I've had 2 great ideas on this show just this morning. If anybody takes them, I need to get paid. Period. Pay
Listen,
me.
all I know is you're getting dangerously close to saying we should have raked leaves, and I don't want to go down that.
That's not what I'm going to say at all. Holy
Oh.
crap. Bro. Let's
Let's go back
there.
to being what we're thankful for rather than
Yeah, let's go
conspiracy
back
theories and ragging on politicians, all right?
You know who I'm thankful for? J.R. Smith. I'm always thankful
Yes.
for him. Staying in the
Cousin of Hitty?
news. He's ready to leave Cleveland.
He's ready to leave.
left the
Oh,
team.
Cleveland,
You
Cleveland's
realize
ready to
LeBron
break
left.
up with him. They're
It's a
ready to
divorce.
trade him. That was a good segue, Loudbeard. I can appreciate. I appreciate that.
He
Divorce
realized
party right
LeBron
now.
left
J.R.
months
Smith
ago.
and Cleveland Cavaliers. He doesn't want to be on a team that tanks. Now, do you think LeBron right now is like, oh no, J.R. Please don't call me J.R. Like J.R. we
JR's
already did
texting
this,
him.
J.R. Yeah,
JR's
and
texting him right
he's
now,
ghosting him.
and LeBron is responding. New number. Who dis?
brother, what are you talking about? He's been thinking he's been playing with LeBron since the season started. Like he has no idea that LeBron
He
left.
calls Kevin Love White LeBron.
He's like, yo, bro, why LeBron ain't on the court yet, man? Is he still in the locker room?
Wait, LeBron's having another rest day? Gosh, that LeBron. He's so lazy.
Right now, he's sitting over there. He's like at Magic Johnson's door knocking. He's like, eventually this guy's going to be home. I want to come to L.A. LeBron, Magic Johnson, where you at? Where you guys at? Where you at?
LeBron's gonna be like, look, bro. Like, I got a new J.R. Smith now. His name is Lance Stevens.
Oh.
New JR.
Nah, he can never be JR though. He could never be.
There's
JR.
only one JR.
There's only
only
one
one.
JR, bro.
Could you imagine that team though? J.R. Smith, Lance Stevenson, Lonzo Ball,
Rajon Rondo,
Mr. Ball.
JaVale McGee.
Mr. Ball?
Oh my god,
Yeah.
that would.
Yeah,
that is a
definitely
reality
not.
television show if I have ever seen one. The LA Lakers with just add JR onto that thing.
Just add JR
Another
onto it.
great
Shirtless JR.
idea.
He's just gonna be
Ano-
wearing no shirts. He's shirts.
Fire.
Another great idea. If they take it, Loudbeard, we need to get paid. Reality show LA with JR. He doesn't
Fire
even
the
have to be in the
coach.
team. He has to just be in the city. It'd be awesome.
Fire the coach. Hire Lamar Ball. Have him be the head coach. Reality show. Well, instead of Hard Knocks, what can we call it? Hard Court.
Hardcore.
Hardwood.
night
Hardwood. Hardwood.
No. LA on fire.
I don't know. We'll come
LA
back to
on-
the name.
Yeah, don't say
bad.
LA on fire. That's a little
Fuck,
too
man.
close.
Ooh, too soon.
yeah, that's too soon. I'm sorry.
That's
Beep.
insensitive.
That's
Very
so
insensitive.
bad. So bad. I'm sorry.
Speaking of
bro.
insensitive, the Washington Redskins are playing the Cowboys tomorrow. I'm excited.
That's right. The Thanksgiving Day games are upon us already. The Lions, the Cowboys.
Holy
Who's the
crap.
Thursday night game?
Falcons Saints. This is a good lineup for Thanksgiving. Now,
No,
the
it's
Saints
not.
will probably rout the Falcons, but Falcons have a little bit of firepower. Redskins, Cowboys, big NFC East battle, and then Bears, Lions. The Bears with the great Mitchell Trubisky. It is must-see TV.
He might sit
This
out.
is the worst set of Thanksgiving games
I hope
I've
not. I
seen in
saw
a
that.
long time.
No, stop.
No.
I mean, when
No.
it was the
Kidding me?
90s, then it was the worst because the Lions were awful, and the only thing good about the Lions was you got to watch Barry Sanders with your Thanksgiving meal, but
Yeah, he always gave you 190 yards.
I remember watching it would be Dallas versus some no-name team. Although there was that one Thanksgiving, and maybe I'm remembering this wrong, but I feel like I remember the Dallas Cowboys playing the Miami Dolphins in the snow during Thanksgiving.
That had to be horrible.
Oh, it was actually a fun game.
You think so?
The snow games are always fun to watch.
Snow games are always fun to watch. I mean, you would think you'd love it because it automatically it puts a third defense on the field for you.
I guess so. No, I would. No, not the Dolphins. When the Dolphins win?
I think they did because I mean that's when they had Dan Marino. I'm talking about this is in the 90s.
Oh, okay.
I'll have to send you the clips. It was a fun game, but
And you
we're
said the
all out of
Lions weren't
time.
good in the 90s. They haven't been good since
Yeah,
ever.
Yeah.
So, and they're
even
always
when they
on
had
Thanksgiving.
Marino,
And there's been some bad Lions games.
Marino
We're all out of
led
time,
the team
though,
in
guys.
rushing for like 3 years in a row. So
We won't be
Yeah.
back till Monday. Hope you
What?
guys have a great Thanksgiving Day weekend. I mean, you can come on Friday morning and do a show if you'd like.
I'll
You
be.
can do it tomorrow
I
morning,
will be
too.
You can do it tomorrow
tipsy,
morning,
bruh.
Golden Ghost Hour. But I'm going to be sleeping in, and I'm pretty sure everybody else is going to be sleeping in or doing
I'm gonna be
their
cooking.
holiday sales, their Black Friday sales, or they're going to be shopping for their new pig to get drunk for the rest of the year. But we hope you have a good Thanksgiving from us at Scout Team Sports. We out.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Oh,
Happy
I cannot
Thanksgiving
wait.
Eve.
Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday.
Thanksgiving Eve and drunken turkeys and hams.
Drunk
I like it.
pig.
It's awesome, bro.
Then it's time to start playing Christmas music.